Hello and welcome to another one of our videos where we're analysing some exercises here and helping you to understand how to use them to encourage better movement. Now here's an exercise that is very popular with the wheel. A lot of people use this to try and annihilate their abdominals. Absolutely the abdominals are going to be heavily impacted here, but really the purpose of these exercises is not to annihilate the abdominals, it's really to learn correct sequencing and how to use your pelvis, and in this case with the wheel, get thoracic extension. So I've got the two guys here, Nathan using the wheel and his friend using the kneeling forward ball roll with the Swissball. And I'm showing you, and so Nathan's doing the harder version because he's better at the exercise, where his friend really needs to work a lot on his pelvic tilting. He just has real poor abdominal control and really poor sequencing of movement, which is, like I said, this is really the purpose of the exercise. It's not about the abdominals so much as what people think it is. All right, so let's have a look at what happens when they do it. So Nathan rolls right out. To get to that range, he needs massive thoracic extension and he needs great abdominal control, obviously. All right, so and he needs to have great sequencing. All right, so as we see here, and I'm just going to pause this, when he gets out there, all right, so when he starts here, his hips and his arms have got to extend relative to each other. See, as his arms are moving forward, his hips are extending. As his hips start to go forward, so does his arms. And can you see that? See how his arms try to go just as that break? That's the breaking point for most people who don't have great postural control or coordination, or obviously strength will come last, but it's usually the control. And you can sort of see in the background his friend who struggles is fully extended at his arms, yet his hips have hardly moved. We look at the difference that Nathan goes right out and gets into that full stretch. All right, so that's the understanding the relative timing of the hips and the shoulder. All right, so that's how that one works. So let's play this and watch what happens with the Swissball roll, and you can sort of already see what I'm going to say when we get to his friend here. All right, so as he rolls, the ball starts out well, but you can see, like again there, like if I take that back, see right there, his arms are fully extended. They're already gone, but he's still at 90 degrees there. And if you look very closely, you'll see he's a huge tilt through his pelvis. He can't seem to be able to understand how to get his abdominal to contract and get the pelvis to move. He's sort of locked into his anterior tilt, probably from too many deadlifts and too many squats, with not enough lunges and not enough in the split stance move. So we see that quite often with people doing a lot of powerlifting and real strength stuff, but not balancing it out with movement. All right, so quite a strong kid, but just doesn't quite have that control to maintain a nice neutral spine. All right, so that's a great example of how you would use the wheel exercise as your progression, and you would use the kneeling forward ball roll as the regression. So most people would start with the Swissball, get the timing right, so the hips and the arms extend relative to each other, and once they've got that, then you can move to the wheel. All right, but both of them, by the way, are way better than planks because they're not just holding you stiff and rigid. There's a bit of a reflex movement to them both, and that's the reflex movement that encourages the small stabilizers more so than just holding yourself stiff as a surfboard. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you on our next one.